Hello, welcome. It's Lotus. So, as the season changes, I'm going to be probably playing musical rooms in the house, following the right light around as we move into the darkening time of the year, fall and winter. Today, I wanted to talk about the natural rhythms. So, I did a class on this years ago called Natural Time, Sacred Rhythm, and I will post that class as a link to this video because it holds a lot of really good and important information, and sometimes this information goes unseen, um, unnoticed, because it really is not part of the popular conditioning and programming of a society like we have in the West that is really built on going and doing and a lot of activity and a lot of external focus. So part of what I wanted to talk about with this is that I have been a little bit missing over the last week or two, and I wanted just to share, it was really great. Somebody had made a comment, that it was nice to see me back. I think it was last week sometime. And thank you everybody who tunes in and who looks forward to the videos and who has subscribed, so you get notifications when I'm here. And I wanted to talk about how do we live our life in a grounded, authentic way and show up when we're expected, right? When we're committed to something, whether that be to you all here on YouTube, whether it be to a job, whether it be in different relationships, whether it be in, different, situations in our life where we feel that we want to be in integrity, and we feel that because we've made a commitment or people are counting on us, the importance of that follow through. So everything that I'm about to say is not to negate that there is integrity in that. There is discipline in that. There is being dependable, of service in that. And at the same time, there's a lot of conditioning and programming in our culture that doesn't really give us the time to access really what we need in our own inner realms, in our own inner journey, in order to show up with that integrity, with that true alignment, with that desire, so that our thoughts, our emotions, our speech, our behavior are all on the same page. So if you like this kind of content, if you haven't subscribed, I would love to have you here more often as we dive deeper into the inner workings of your spiritual awakening journey and everything that goes with that maturation process. So I'm going to use myself as an example over these last couple of weeks. I have been going through a deep shift, and if you're not new to me, I go through these a lot because this is my work, right? This is what I do inwardly, and this is what I share outwardly. So life gives me lots of material, front row seat, direct experience, going through the paces, embodying information of life so that I can bring about a sharing to support all of you. So over this last couple weeks, I definitely, really, it's been going on since, well, really even before September, but I've been coming up for air right, in different phases of this adventure. Wow, the light just changed drastically. It wasn't even outside. But since September, it has been another really deep peeling away of the onion, right? Peeling away of my inner thought forms, belief systems, and emotional protection. And within that time, I've been very exhausted because when we do deep emotional soul work, it's natural and appropriate that we become more tired, that we get more sleepy, that we're foggy headed, that we're having a hard time operating in the rest of our life. We have a hard time showing up in the ways that we might expect of ourselves or that others expect from us. Always being able to show up is an expectation that has been created through the fast-paced life that we live and the conditioning of pulling us out of our own center and really understanding the deep importance of reclaiming our time and space. And what I call this is, in part, what I'm talking about is, what is your natural time and sacred rhythm? So I've talked about before in other videos, we see this a lot, right? The seasons change us. The seasons reflect to us what in actuality is going on within us. And ideally, teaching us how to mirror the larger rhythms and flows of life. If we live in a sunny area, I know when I lived in Los Angeles for years, it was really hard to feel that inner calling. And it felt hard because of the sunshine and the ongoing stimulation of a very busy city to energetically be able to really not be affected by all of that. So it takes a concerted effort in the systems and in the lifestyles that we have co-created. And within this structure, when we're doing deep healing work, when we're going through our awakening process, when we are resolving past wounding and trauma, when we are peeling these layers away, there are periods of time that our soul needs to actually give us a break, give our personality a break, give our activity a break, give our outward focus a break. And it wants to do that by calling us inwardly. It wants us to become deeply connected to the inner process and not only the emotions and the sensations that go along with healing, which can oftentimes be uncomfortable. However, if we don't tend to those consciously, we are negating our deeper emotional IQ, spiritual IQ, somatic IQ, i.e. our embodiment, and our mental IQ. And when we negate those, we are not honoring a deeper, truer maturation of our being. So over this last period of time, I have really missed coming and sharing, and continuing to take the steps to really grow and flourish this burgeoning community, and to deepen the relationships with those of you who are here and who resonate with what I can bring for your support. And at the same time, I understood that I wasn't feeling very clear. I was kind of jumbled. I was very raw. I was in these places of needing to unplug from the conditioned energies that pull us out of our center. And because I've been doing this for a long time, I know how to unplug from that pretty easily. And I needed to tend to my inner landscape. I needed to tend to what was being learned, what was being healed, what I needed to really absorb, digest, assimilate, what I needed to let die away, and what is next that is, excuse me, embodying. And as I go through these processes, this supports the ever-expanding consciousness. It supports my own self-honor and self-love, where I choose me first and foremost, because it is in the highest good of all. Now, does it mean that I, didn't show up for clients, private clients? Of course I did. Does it mean that I didn't have a lovely vacation, that my ex-husband's mother came to visit and spend time? Absolutely, I did that. But within that, I didn't go out and do extra things. I didn't engage socially beyond maybe having a couple really healing conversations with a couple friends so that I could process and also be of reflection for whatever they were going through. But it was minimal. Because energetically, whenever we're going through a healing phase and stage, it requires a bit of a cocoon in order to deeply grok and embody what the new information, frequencies, states of being that are showing up before they can spread their wings into the butterfly. So I'd like to say at this point that I'm 100% there, and not really, but I'm at the tail end of the deeper introspection, and really sitting and sleeping and just feeling tired and emotional and weepy, because past pains, past sadness, past grief was just rising to the surface. So I created a safe container to allow that to happen effortlessly, gracefully, without needing to fix anything, but to allow the natural time to move through me, to allow my own sacred rhythm to embody within me. Because the more we do this work, we begin to recognize the deep importance and deep value and the necessity that is needed to integrate our journey. And the outside world will never give you permission for that. At this stage of the game, excuse me, I have a lot of rain coming in my window. Just a moment. Both of my windows. So the outside world, where we sit, in the reality that we have all co-created together because we love what pulls us out. Even though our deepest yearning is for what already lies within us. Our deepest fulfillment, we think we're going to find outside of us. So we're always ready and willing to go outside. But in truth, all traditions have told us this. All practices support this truth. What we are seeking is already inside of us. It is seeking us. But we have to get still enough. We have to get quiet enough. We have to stop being stimulated, overstimulated, enough to come home to this inner space. So we have to learn how and when to give ourselves the permission for this. We have to decide to be the captains of our own inner truth and to listen to that inner truth of let's say the mature captain who's been through years and decades of, experience and training and education to be in that position to carry a large vessel with unlimited levels of responsibility. That captain knows how to make the right choices. Maybe not always the easy choices. Maybe that choice won't be what everybody wants. But that captain knows how to discern and how to listen to the inner wisdom and follow that. So we get to be that captain. And we could say, let's just say this is a captain of a cruise liner or something like that. The real captain is going to be that huge body of water that's actually going to have its own rhythms and flows. And the captain of the ship is only going to be able to do so much on his own. He's going to have to, he or she, they're going to have to work with the rhythm and flow of the huge power of the natural waters. We are in that same position. It's just more subtle. Life, the seasons, the cosmos, all of that is bigger than us. It's more powerful than us, truly. And yet, because it's more subtle, we believe that we are the captain and we navigate through our will. And oftentimes our will leads us into, hitting rocks, hitting big boulders. Maybe that ship starts to sink, right? But when we stay in the flow of life and the intelligence of life, come into relationship through our own soul presence and our own divinity, and allow that to take precedence, we may disappoint people sometimes. We may not be able to follow through on certain commitments. We may not be as active and social and and taking in information as much as we might think we want. But what we're doing is we're anchoring something more deep and more powerful in. When we allow ourselves to unplug from our conditioning and from the noise of the world, and listen to our heart and listen to our soul. And take the deep breaks that we need, especially in our awakening journey. Otherwise, we're just skimming on the surface, right? We're just, we're just hopping from this to that, and we're never becoming the depth of who we truly are. And therefore, whatever we bring forth in the world is only going to reflect that depth to which we've cultivated and crafted and chosen and surrendered to. So you're going to find, most likely, as you continue to follow me, to listen to me, as you continue to engage in any classes, and as you continue to engage in any actual things where we can interact more, which is, I'm looking for that in the future, or even on the community page down below, where I'm wanting more interaction with you. I want to know you as well. But you will find there will be times where there will be a retreat of my presence, because I'm honoring that soul guidance and that guidance of my connection to Source. And that is the foundation of everything that will support anything that I am bringing to you. So I'm using this example as that transmission. How often do you completely unplug from the conditioning of how you think you're supposed to be interacting with life? Do you know what parts of you are conditioned and what parts of you are actually in that true alignment? Do you know when you go out of your alignment? Do you know when you're being programmed from external narratives and sources and pop culture and popular opinions? The only way that we really know these things is to come home and go inward and really inquire with our heart, listen to the sensations in the body, listen through critical thinking, and can I actually speak to it from a level of direct experience? Because this is where we're going. This is the frequency creation within us that is coherent. And it is our coherence and our true frequency through which we will be continuing to co-create the reality that we choose. And we choose this either consciously or unconsciously. Choose it consciously through our aligned integration, always expanding our awareness and deepening the connection between our divinity and our soul embodiment. The other way of listening and not integrating, believing things at face value without self-inquiry, that creates distortion in the essence that we truly are. And then what we create in the world is not really what it is that we're wanting to be experiencing. So the invitation is, give yourself that time to unplug, and you don't have to wait until you're going through a deep healing process. You can do it as a ritual, and I've talked about that before. You can do it once a week. You can do it, for a few days a month. You can do it at the moon cycles, right? Which is why I do the moon meditations. You can do it at the change of seasons. Getting into whatever rhythm works for you to deeply untether yourself from the external and spend time in your internal flow and rhythm. Connect more deeply to your truth and your essence. All right, that is it for now. Many blessings.